It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
Holy moly, do we have a good one for you this week. William Holtz, Chris Schneider. It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris. And oh, what a show we've got today.
Wow, man. Second straight week, we got some crazy local headlines to talk about, right? I mean, so we'll have to get into that.
March Madness.
March Madness. We've got our brackets. We filled them out. We've even got money on it.
We got money on it. And I got to tell you, I saw Megan's and I saw Ricky's, and I'm thinking, who got into the bourbon? Yeah. Because who filled those brackets out, man?
Yeah.
So we'll get into that, like he said, some just crazy local headlines. But before we get into that, our good friends at Slumberland at the Lake, not only are they hiring, but boy, do they have some cool stuff going on here in store. To tell us more, our friends at Slumberland.
Hey guys, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. So I've got to be serious for a moment. I'm not going to ask how or where it came from, but I have 3 semi-loads of furniture that are going to be ready to go by this weekend that you can take right off the floor. They're going to be discounted, priced to go, so you need to come check it out and fill up a trailer. So remember, with all this hot stuff coming in, you're going to want to come take advantage right here at Slumberland at the Lake. Remember, it's always a good life.
So the story that is doing its best to trump last week's crazy headlines and shock factor, you know, the murder for hire.
Yeah.
Lake Ozark Mayor Jerry Morawski has been the discussion of many locals after a shocking development in Lake Expo's story that broke on Saturday. And Chris, its headline read, Lake Ozark Mayor exposed, prostitution, jail girls, and the sugar daddy. In numerous acts since 2016, when a Lake Ozark alderman, Morawski's behavior was closely examined and documented in the shocking story by Lake Expo. Now, Chris, what can you tell us that you've read and found out about this?
Well, it is shocking, you know, that, and Morawski has admitted that this happened, right? Yeah. So it's not like it's just a rumor or political dirt being thrown around. There were investigations back in 2015, 2016. Morawski has admitted to this and said, you know, one time mistake and stuff like that. So it's not even a question of whether it happened. Right now, it's just dealing with the fallout of it. The thing about it is, you know, we at Lake TV, we are blessed to have some, you know, inside people that we talk to about it. And basically the status of the situation is the investigations are done. I mean, they're not investigating anything anymore. Those are done. That's over with. What's out is out. It is what it is, and now Mayor Morawski, and he's running for office. Yeah. He just has to deal with this, and the community has to figure out how to deal with it as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting because now you've got former Mayor Johnny Francescos, who's now rerunning. Yeah. And you know, he was mentioned in the story as far as passing some information along, and you can't prove that he was behind this, but if he was, you got 2 shame factors here. First, the fact that your local leader, you know, is abusing his power. I mean, it wasn't just as if it's being done as mayor. I think there's proof it is behavior you saw as an alderman. And so when he's quoted as saying, I just like to help people, it's not just girls, I help guys too, without any motive. Well, where were you last March when I, as the only TV station at the lake, lost $100,000, could have used your help? And it's clear you got money, because you're footing jail bills and cell phone bills and gifts for kids. And so I don't buy this individual just wants to help people.
No, it seems to be a little, you know, and politicians are usually really good about, you know, flipping the script, trying to take a negative, turn it into a positive. You know, for his part, and the story reads from Lake Expo, Morawski says he was unjustly characterized and that he helped many of these girls pay their bills and get jobs, right? So, but that's what people do. I mean, it doesn't matter what level, if it's local level, national level, you know, if it's a negative, they'll try to turn around, make themselves look good with it. And it seems like that's what's happening here.
Yeah, I mean, the type of people he's tried to help are only helpless, powerless, incarcerated, and have no one around him So if he was generous, I would love to see some other generosity towards other people. But also, it's funny, Johnny Francesco, he was not necessarily, from what I believe, super pro new events on the Strip, which is the lifeblood of Lake Ozark. And, you know, Mayor Morawski has been really good for the city of Lake Ozark and really good for business. But as a community, we have to draw the line in the sand. And I'm going to end with this, Chris. None of our sins are greater than those of others, okay? But for a person with immense influence and power within the city, one that would even flaunt his power with control over local police in exchange for anything of personal gain, is repulsive. And this won't go unanswered eternally, and I don't want it to go unanswered here locally. So I'm urging you guys, as a community, we have to draw the line in the sand and never be willing to cross it. Good for business or not good for business, not the kind of person I want kids looking up to in this community. And I'm not so sure that the one running against him is going to be good for business. So we're now at a loss as a community, and what we need is somebody to step up for write-in. And if I was living within the Lake Ozark city limits, I may just throw my name in that hat. Not that I want or need anything more to do.
Another thing to do, right? Yeah, I'd be the mayor. So.
But it's super important, you know, to have somebody in there that leads your community, not just in business, but in action.
Do you think this will, I mean, because he is up for re-election this year, right? Do you think this knocks him out, or do you think he's still in the running, or how does this play?
It's weird because, like you said, sometimes we get some insight that not everybody gets access to, and from somebody very close to the situation, Mayor Morawski did not seem worried. He knew this was going to come out, and he said, there's going to be some dirt that's going to come out on me. He said, but listen, we're at Lake of the Ozarks. I'm a Republican. 90% of the people down here are Republican. So he's not worried. He thinks he's going to get reelected, but you don't see a ton of campaigning for Johnny Francesco, so maybe he thought this would be all he needed to campaign.
This would just open the door for him and he'd be in, right? So
wild.
We'll have to see. When is election day? Is that the April election?
I think that's April 6th. Is the same time you have the school boards, another incredibly important election locally. If you look at the Camdenton School District, now not one of our headlines, but a lot going on there, and we have to restore that district, because as that district goes, so does this community. So for those of you watching, make sure if you're in that Camdenton School District and you could vote on that election, do your research and see what those candidates are about, and look at the facts and what's going on right here within our own district.
I think election day is April 12th, something like that. So yeah, definitely, I mean, it is so important. Missouri's election dates are weird. Right. I mean, they're all over the board. You got November, you got April, you got, I mean, it's hard to keep up with them all, and we are so blessed to have this platform to remind you that election day is coming up. Start studying a little bit, listening to what's going on. It's really important that good people get out and vote.
You know what's cool?
Or bad people take over.
You know what's cool?
What?
Next week, right here on Lake TV, I think it's Wednesday and Thursday, the Wednesday is Camdenton.
Oh, yeah.
And Thursday is Lake Ozark, and that is our forum for our local mayors.
Right.
So that'll be very, very interesting, and we'll have that in cooperation with the Lake Area Chamber of Commerce.
So be sure to tune into Lake TV. You get to see these forums with the candidates, so you can see for yourself what they're saying, what they believe in. When you get out, you know, go out and vote April 12th, you'll know exactly what these candidates stand for and who to vote for.
And listen, guys, if you're going to sit out there and you're going to complain about what's going on around you, make sure you take action. Go out, and if you're not going to go run for election or get behind somebody, make sure you go out, you get informed, and you vote. That way your voice can be heard, because there's no better way to have your voice heard than getting out and voting.
And I mean, there's an old saying, if you don't vote, then you'd have no right to complain. You know, so vote, and then you can complain all you want. All right? I mean, we do plenty of complaining, so, you know, hey.
We do. All right, so that, we're going to close that story, and glad to be closing that story.
What a story. Yeah,
in the last couple of weeks, just these negative stories, we can't not cover them.
Wow.
But we got more exciting things for us personally to talk about. First, check this out. So there's an island condo complex.
I saw that.
Coming to Lake of the Ozarks.
That's exciting. That is really cool. So, and it's like the only inhabitable island at the Lake of the, other than Big Island, right?
Correct.
So what was on that island before? Is this just brand new everything here?
No, there's been condos on this before. It's been Isla de la Sol, I believe was the name of it. But this is the story that reads from KRCG-TV. Now, a new condominium complex is being developed on the only habitable island at Lake of the Ozarks. Now, according to developers, the reserve at Isla del Sol will be a 5-story condo, and it's developed at mile marker 3, where it's always been. But on their website, developers stated that residents will be able to enjoy panoramic lake views, lakeside pools, splash playground for children, a dog walking area, and you can even purchase dock slips. Now, you see the mock-up here in some photos. Those are courtesy of KRCG-TV again. It's going to be on sale starting next year. Pre-sales are starting soon, maybe before next year, and it's the Cross Basler network that listed. They've got those for sale. But it's weird because that's always been such a unique property at the lake. It's changed hands a couple of times, and now it looks like there's a developer coming in and putting some real money into it. And obviously, the real estate market at the lake is pretty hot right now.
Exploding. We had in a meeting that I was at last week, realtor said they had sold a home for $90,000 over asking price. That's how hot the real estate market is. It was hot last year. I think it's going to be even hotter this year. And I know a lot of the local authorities are expecting it to be like twice as busy this year from the influx of people as it was last year. And we know how busy it was last year.
And a lot of those are sight unseen, Chris.
It's incredible.
Like, I mean, people aren't even seeing these properties, and they're getting in bidding wars with other people that want to buy a condo, a home, a lake home. And like you said, $90,000.
That's incredible.
Over ask price.
That means there was a bidding war for it. It kept going up, and people signed off on, you know, you used to have to sign an addendum saying, I don't care if I'm paying over what its value is, you know, so that's crazy.
Hot market.
Wow.
Here at Lake of the Ozarks. Our next story, for those of you out there that are maybe on Lake Regional's COVID vaccination waiting list, as of March 1st this year, Lake Regional had 19,000 people waiting for a COVID vaccination. That's a crazy number, this according to CEO Dane Henry. Now, he says that the supply is not keeping up with the demand, and they're just waiting for more vaccinations. But the good news is there's other options here at Lake of the Ozarks in case you are on that waiting list and you really need to get that vaccination. Your first option is COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center.
We love those people. 3
locations where you can get on a waiting list. That's Osage Beach, Camdenton, and Richland. Now, all 3 locations have different numbers to get on that waiting list, so make sure you see that graphic on your screen right now. Now, they also have a free COVID vaccination event this Friday, excuse me, in Eldon. So if you've seen this and it's after Friday, of course that already happened, but you'll need to visit the website on your screen to confirm eligibility and pre-register. So that's really cool that not only the 3 locations, they've also got the remote location in Eldon. They're having that event at.
And those people at COMC are so cool. I mean, we love those people. They're nice, they're wonderful, and they, again, that's one of the things we love about the Lake area community, people helping people. We talk with COMC people and they'll go, I mean, they go and feed people's dogs who are in the hospital. And I mean, just out of the goodness of their heart, gosh, you love that about the community.
Lost in that industry is that compassion factor, not at COMC. Now, the other option you've got is Hyvee in Osage Beach. They're administering the Pfizer vaccination. You go to Hyvee.com/COVID, and you're going to pick your time slot. You're going to print out your requirement sheet. Once you do that, you show up, you check in, bada boom. You're just a helpful smile away from being vaccinated,
there
baby.
You go. You know, and those another group of people that we absolutely love, Larry Sandel and the people at Hyvee, just great, nice, wonderful people.
And they just continue to reach out and do more and more for this community. So those are our local headlines, and we've got others we may touch on, but now we're going to head to national headlines. And Chris, one big thing coming up at the end of April, which is next month, local Sam Shoemaker, who is a heavyweight in the bare knuckle fighting championship, this growing fight promotion.
How brutal is that?
Nasty.
Bare knuckle, man.
And what's weird about it is it actually is safer than gloved boxing because of the padding and the angles that it comes in the face. You're going to see way more severe lacerations and cuts on somebody's face from the glove than if you get hit with a fist. Also, you're more likely to get knocked out quicker with a fist, meaning you're not going to endure as much brutal beating in your face. So that's really cool. And he's going to get, now he had at bare knuckle BKFC 5, he got a 3, he got a heavyweight shot against Arnold Adams. Now he lost that in the first ever heavyweight tournament. He's going to get a chance at redemption against Joey Beltran, who is the current heavyweight. So late April, and I believe that's going to be in Miami, Florida. So I used that because it's a local tie to segue into this national story. A lot of people know of famous YouTuber Jake Paul. Now, he has broken onto the scene, not just for buying lots of Pokemon cards and weird things like that, but he's actually training and has become a pretty impressive boxer. Now, when this first happened, people were like, okay, he just wants to try something new. But what's funny is he's actually 2-0. He did beat Nate Robinson a couple weeks ago, former NBA player. Not real impressive. Nate's not really a boxer. But he's getting ready to fight one of the most impressive MMA fighters of our generation, Ben Askren. And they're actually fighting in a professional boxing match. And the funny thing is, Jake Paul looks really, really good. So Dana White, who is the president of the UFC, he comes out and he says Jake Paul is going to get his ASS whipped when he steps in to fight Askren. And I don't know if you guys know, but Dana White and Ben Askren, they do not like each other. Dana White kicked Askren to the curb for 3 years. He was away from the UFC before he came back because really you couldn't keep him away. And so Dana White, against someone he doesn't really like, says, I'll bet you $1 million you're going to lose to Ben Askren. Wow. So I would think Jake Paul would be like, okay, good for you. He says, I'm going to double down. Put your money where your mouth is. He said, I'll go $2 million. I'm going to beat him. And Dana White's like bamboozled. He's like, this is hilarious. Easy money, right? Well, the thing is, there's some boxing experts that said after this came out, like, hey, Dana, like, I don't know if you realize what you're doing. Like, I've been working with Jake Paul, and this kid has hands. His footwork is there. And so I'm super interested to see what happens in this fight. Now, it's going to be April 17th of next month when that fight goes down. So I'll be watching with a lot of interest. Now, Paul is 2-0, like I said, in his short-lived career. But the guy that's really, really hot on him is Zab Judah, who's an ex-boxing star. And he said to Dana White, he goes, I watched him. He's been working so hard. I don't know if you realize what you've got yourself into. So it has not been announced whether or not Dana White accepted the double-down bet for $2 million. But that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. You have a YouTube sensation who's busted onto the fight scene, and now he's going to be taking on one of the greatest UFC fighters of my generation in a professional boxing match. It's got all kinds of appeal all around it.
That's almost as much money as we put on our brackets. You know.
And we're going to get into those, so that's an interesting story there. Another one I wanted to talk to you about. Did you see about the new space hotel is going to launch in 2027?
No, I don't. Is this a Musk thing?
No, okay, so it's not. His thing will be working with this. All right, so this story is an out-of-this-world hotel is just a few years away from becoming a reality. Now, this decade will see the start and completion of construction of humanity's first hotel in outer space, according to the group behind it, Orbital Assembly. The 3-year-old company plans to begin building Voyager Station in low Earth orbit in 2025 and believes its interstellar resort may actually be as operational as early as 2027. Now, this is all reported by the Daily Mail. Now, you'll see renderings on screen. It's a celestial hotel. There's cosmic chick, individual pods, and it's going to have things that'll feel like a regular hotel. Yeah. Like, okay, you're going to be out of orbit. There's going to be no gravity. There's actually going to be different rooms in the resort that will feel just like Earth, but then you're also going to have rooms where they don't take the gravity effect away, so you'll actually get to enjoy. Now, I've seen different prices of this.
I wonder if there's rooms like the Vomit Comet that you go in there, you know, and you just lose it, right?
Well, I mean, probably so.
I would guess so too.
And I'm just interested how long it's going to take to get there, how long it's going to take to get back.
How long can you stay? I mean, you can't do a one-night stay there, right?
I wouldn't think so. And price is going to be fairly expensive. I've seen estimations from $70,000 per stay all the way up to $200,000. So, I mean, it's early. We've seen this story.
Does that include travel?
I would hope so.
Wow.
If not, boy, you got your work cut out for you. But that's super interesting as we move forward with technology and everything going on. And you ask if it was Elon Musk. Now, the company, their name, again, Voyager Station, and they're being built by Orbit Assembly. Their goal is to work with Elon Musk. And I think it's his SpaceX.
Yeah, all those satellites he's got up there.
And so they want to use him and work with him, but this is not an Elon Musk project, which also shocked me. The first thing I thought when I saw that headline. So another national headline, speaking of all these guys, Elon Musk, my weekly Dogecoin update.
How's that doing? Are you losing money?
No, baby. Doubled down again. It was up over 6 cents 3 different times since last week's show. It's currently trading at about 5.7 cents per share. So had you invested $1,000 in a Dogecoin the first time I brought it up, you would now have $1,017.
Wow.
What an amazing return.
That's not
in a short amount of time.
$17 not worth my time into that, man.
1.7% return in just less than 2 months, and it's trending upward. Okay.
I can't even say Dogecoin.
Yeah, please don't try, because you've said it a couple times off camera, and it's nearly got him in trouble.
Not good.
Yeah. All right, so sports. Oh boy, so sad. Our Missouri Tigers, they get the first round win in the SEC tournament.
Well, you got them going to the Final Four in the big dance, though, right?
Why don't you not play spoiler alert? My goodness. So they lose to Arkansas in the second round, or officially the third round of the SEC tournament, a game they should have won. Of course, just like Missouri in good old Missouri fashion, they find a way to lose. And so they get a 9 seed in the West. And they were looking, just 3 weeks ago, they were looking at a potential 4 or 5 seed, all the way down to 9, and they're going to play Oklahoma in the first round. That game is going to be Thursday night. If you're seeing this and it's already happened, hopefully Missouri's still alive for my sake, and you'll find out why. So, Chris, let's get out our brackets, and let's show you the way the field lays out. And we're going to, you got yours in front of you?
Yeah. So,
all right.
absolutely.
So first, before we get into everyone else's, we're going to break ours down a little bit. So who do you have coming out of the Gonzaga and Iowa bracket?
I've got Gonzaga going to the Final Four, and I've got them playing Iowa in that regional final, And then I have Gonzaga playing Alabama in the Final Four. I had Alabama beating #1 seed Michigan in that regional final.
Wow. Surprising. I've got my sleeper, and you guys probably could have called this Missouri. I got them not only getting past Oklahoma, but also Gonzaga.
Wow. Man, I got this thing won already.
You think so? So Missouri, I've got Missouri and Iowa playing in the Elite Eight. Missouri wins that. On the other side, I actually have Maryland.
I thought you wanted Quanzo fired, and you got him going to the Final Four?
Won't be because of him.
Wow.
He's got great players.
It's like, make a decision.
Well, he's not getting fired. So I don't want my team to suffer because I don't like their coach.
You still want him out, though, right?
I want Martin gone. Okay. Like gone. I'd rather have Quinn Snyder back at Missouri.
Well, if they go to the Final Four, he's here for a decade.
Yeah.
Because Missouri never gets to the Final Four.
We've never been to a Final Four.
They'll crown him king. If they get to the Final Four.
I may even crown him king.
There you go. Absolutely.
I may be his biggest fan if we get to the Final Four. So then I've actually got Alabama losing to Maryland, and then I got Texas and Michigan in the Elite Eight down there, and I got Michigan heading to the Final Four.
Okay, and they are the #1 seed in that region. Yeah.
So Michigan and Missouri in my Final Four from that side. On the other side, I'm kind of embarrassed. I've got all 1 seeds in the Final Four. I got both Baylor and the Fighting Illini.
Okay. I went with Baylor as well, which I was a little shaky on because Baylor, kind of like Missouri, they tend to choke in the big dance,
Right.
So, but I had Baylor going to the Final Four, and then in the other bracket, I had Houston beating the #1 seed Illinois in the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four. Then I had Baylor and Gonzaga playing in the championship game.
I have Baylor in the championship game, and if Michigan has enough to get past Coach Martin and those Missouri Tigers in that Final Four, I have them going to the championship game where Michigan will actually beat Baylor. My final is 77-73. Michigan beats Baylor in a thriller. So that's the way our bracket goes. And regular scoring, first round 1 point, second round, so on. And we'll let CBS keep our scores. So that's our brackets.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and have some fun and look at some of these others.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at Andrew first and foremost. We're going to put it on the screen. He's pretty smart. He's also got Michigan
just like
winning
you.
it. Let's see. But he's got Kansas, and they're down a ton of players. We weren't even sure they were going to be able to dance.
COVID issues there at Kansas a little bit. So does Virginia, by the way, I hear. So
man, Andrew and I have a lot of the same picks. He's also got Texas.
That's not good for you, dude.
All the way to the Elite Eight. That's where I've got him losing to Michigan to make the Final Four. He's got Illinois and Ohio State beating Baylor. So we're similar there. Michigan over Ohio State for Andrew in the championship. Actually, that's not a
good job,
bracket.
Andrew. Way to go.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Then we go with my boy Ricky, and of course, look, he's got KU going all the way to the Elite Eight. But he didn't think with his heart too much. He's pretty smart. He's got Zaga.
Yep, absolutely.
In the Final Four, Michigan, very similar.
Wow,
Houston, he's like
hey,
you.
There you go. Houston and Baylor.
I like Houston. I don't think that I disagree with either of you guys there. There's a good chance.
You guys probably don't remember Phi Slamma Jamma, do you?
I remember the documentary.
And all that stuff. They were great back then,
And you do realize that Jimmy Valvano, when they won that national championship in 1983, they beat Houston. And they were like a 7 or 8 seed in the tournament.
On a last-second shot.
We're never supposed to even be there, let alone beat a team as stacked as Houston. That team is considered one of the greatest college teams of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. They had Clyde Drexler, Akeem Olajuwon, several others.
Were you surprised that I knew that?
I am, because that was before you were even born, right?
But Jimmy Valvano, baby.
Well, there you go. When we talk college basketball, it goes back to Jimmy V.
That's right, baby. Yep. So I'm actually, Ricky is all over the place like you, man. He's got Michigan, Gonzaga, Baylor, and Houston. So he's got all 1 seeds and a 2 seed. He has Baylor beating Gonzaga in the championship.
Wow.
That'd be something.
That would be something.
They'd have to really overcome their big game jitters. And we're going to end with, obviously, the sports expert on our crew here at Lake TV, Megan.
Yep. She didn't even know the Tennessee with the Volunteers, right?
She was wondering, what does a volunteer do besides volunteer?
Right.
Well, that's a pretty valid question.
Yeah.
And it's valid enough that she has the Tennessee Volunteers winning it all.
Yeah.
LSU and Tennessee in the national championship game. She must really like the SEC.
Yeah.
She got 2 SEC teams. Virginia Tech as a 10 seed making the Final Four. Tennessee as the 5 seed making the Final Four. LSU as an 8 seed making the Final Four. And Ohio as a 13 seed making the Final Four. What's really funny about this?
Yeah.
There's a good chance she may be the most realistic bracket on our whole staff here. So
after seeing the brackets, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. But you kicked my butt so bad in the NFL playoffs, I'm kind of afraid, because you seem to have the foreknowledge of what's going on.
But here's what I did differently, which I typically do with my bracket, is I pick with my heart and not my head. So that's why I had Missouri going to the Final Four. We know that's not happening.
Yeah, not going to
Pretty good chance they're going to lose Thursday night against Oklahoma. And that way I don't have to stress out about it anymore.
50-50 anyway,
so we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen. What's cool for us is we're going to be enjoying basketball this weekend.
That's right. Yeah,
we're down in Springfield.
Yeah, we're so excited about that. And we've got Sing Your Heart Out on Sunday night at Captain Ron's. We got that started last week. Great week 1.
Danielle was our week 1 winner, and she took home $100 cash, and that is such a fun event. Make sure you're at Captain Ron's. Sign-ups are at 6 o'clock. We'll start our competition at 6:30. You perform 2 songs for our guest celebrity judges. This guy's being one of those.
That's right.
And you take $100 cash and you punch your ticket into the season finale, where there's all kinds of
I was doing the white man's
prizes.
dance there. Well, you got to have the overbite. You know, when the white man dances, that's right. That's the way it goes.
Uncle Chris, he is out of control. Also, Weekend at the Lake with Bob Spicer returned last week, and so you can tune in every Thursday on Lake TV to see that. A new episode every Thursday. We'll give you a rundown of all events at the lake, and Bobby Spice, man, he's twice as nice.
He is. He's a really sweet guy.
And then, of course, the Community Spotlight. Great guests continue to come on your show.
Yeah, we've got Sheriff Tony Helms from Camden County on this week. Next week, Jill Ray, right here from Slumberland Furniture, the owner of Slumberland. So we'll get to know about Jill and how Slumberland came about and all that stuff. So we have the greatest guests on that Community Spotlight show, whether they're nonprofits or business leaders or civic leaders like Sheriff Helms. So, and you can see the Community Spotlight, the new show every week at 8 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 8 at night. You get to see Wild Will and Uncle Chris here on Cup of Coffee, 7 in the morning, 12 noon, 7 at night every weekday.
That's a lot of us. 3 times a day.
Wow. I just, I put it on my calendar and I go tune us in and watch us. And
3 times a day.
That's right.
3 times
a day.
So lots of good content coming up, and I'm excited to get to see what Sheriff Tony Helms has to say. And also, Jill Ray, you guys are going to get to find out just how much this woman and this company does for this community. Of course, they're our title sponsors. They're hosting this show, and we sure are glad they are, and we're sure you probably are glad as well. For Chris and our entire crew here at Slumberland at the Lake, I'm William Holtz. We'll see you next week.